G'day, how you all going? So right now, myself and Jake are making our way from the west to the east across the Simpson Desert. So we got up at Sparrows this morning and left Mount Dare just before 6 a.m. It's now 7:30. We've just pulled over to have some brekkie. So we're just looking at punting across the desert for a few days. So when you're watching this, the desert's only been open for a week since it was closed for several months after heaps of flooding. There's still a bypass in place, which is just past Popple Corner, which is a fair bit away from where we are right now. And don't know how much traffic there'll actually be out there because we just had the Think Desert race as well. So there might be a few cars and convoys heading back across the desert. So this first part of the track, when you're leaving from Mount Dare to Dalhousie, you're not even straight into the dunes. It's about an hour and a half, do you reckon?
From Dalhousie to the desert, yeah, probably an hour and a half, yeah.
Yeah, before we start hitting the dunes and that. So a lot of people just think you're leaving Dalhousie and you're straight into the dunes the whole way across. It's not right. Obviously you don't see a lot of this area because it's basically just a dirt road and corrugations all the way across until you start getting into the sand country. So it'll definitely test out everything bolted to your car before you get out to the sand. Off in the distance at the moment. We could see some showers before, but they're just sort of patchy, so we should be pretty right. Alright, so we've just pulled up at Purni bore, so we've just done, all the corrugations and whatnot through there. Jake's just letting a little bit more air out of the tyres on the cruiser, so we'll be down to about 18 and 21 for the next bit, and we'll just see it. We'll start there and see how we go. But something I thought I'd show you here. We've got drop toilets here, and then up behind it in the other shed there, where there's a heap of birds hanging around, and some glass up in that water tank up the top here. So that's a shower. So it's gravity fed down through into the shower, so it's just running there's no hot water service or anything, but a perfect place for a rinse off, either heading into the desert or making your way back east to west. I'll take you in there for a bit of a look. So there you go, just a shower in here, a few hooks to hang your things up, and there's your taps there. So pretty basic, but perfect if you want to have a bit of a freshen up. Now at Purni bore here, hence the name, they drilled for a bore, which is down from when you park at the shelter. There's a bit of a wetlands down there. Now this morning there's a lot of birds around, a lot of galahs and whatnot. They're taking a bit of an interest in what we're doing. So if you want to pull up here and have some lunch or early morning breakfast, this could be the spot. 18 front,
Yep.
21 rear.
Yep. The rears had pumped himself up a bit, so it was the front had two.
Oh,
26 and 32.
Since this morning.
Yeah, just on the way.
Yeah. Also for this trip, you'll notice that the FJ is not here, and I am with Jake, and we've got two swags, a couple of jerry cans and our diesel, and a couple of fridges, a couple of chairs and a food box just there. And that's how we've been going for almost 2 weeks now, traveling around. Pretty basic. that was right. So we've just passed the rig road intersection, and we're continuing on the French line. We just saw some blokes there. They're travelling across as well, but yeah, we're just continuing on ourselves. First of the good dunes. We're just going over a dune here. We're approaching the Colson track. So earlier on we passed the rig road. I think it's about 25 k's further on, and we're at the Colson track, and we'll cross this intersection and keep continuing along the French line. Alright, so we've had lunch and stuff, and we're just punting along the French line still. Jake's about to tackle this fairly decent dune. We've had a bit of rain, so it's nice hard packed. We'll see how he goes. And just like that, he's up. We haven't had any problems at all. Running good pressures. We're at 75 kilometres from Popple Corner. Now, if you're watching this, you probably think we're moving pretty quick. Now, you would have heard about a lot of flies in the desert this year, and it is true. We've worked out if you sit still for about 3 or 4 minutes, then they start finding you. So, where we stop for lunch, they're just all over you, covered your arms, face, ears, in your getting your glasses and everything else. So So the further east we've been going, we've been noticing more and more wildflowers coming out. This is probably the best example so far in behind me. I reckon another couple of weeks, you're going to see this right the way through the desert. Righto, we are crossing the first clay pan for the day. Not sure whether it'll be the only one or not, but there it is. There we go, we're across, only a short one. Back into the sand. So we've got dinner underway. Jake's just getting some pasta organised. I'm about to light the fire. It's a fairly big day today, but we rolled in and there's no fires, which is a big plus. So then tomorrow we'll get up and we'll continue on. We'll most likely make it all the way across to Birdsville tomorrow, we're thinking, but we'll have a cruisy morning and then head off. But how's this sunset over here? We haven't had a bad one in the whole time we've been away. Good morning. It's day 2 in the Simpson Desert. So we pulled up camp here last night. As you would have seen, we had some dinner and it's now about 6:30 in the morning and we've just woken up. It's nice and fresh. Something that was unreal and you probably don't experience too often is the full moon was setting right there and the sun is almost risen there. So almost 180 degrees from horizon to horizon.
The lightning shows my weakness, the thunder knows my secrets, the storm is like a brother, it knows...
I'll do my sleeping bag. Done.
Then launch it.
Yep.
Popple Corner.
20 Ks?
Found that.
Must have got down to about 3, I reckon.
Yeah, it's not warm.
Not quite a frost, but at least 3 degrees.
It's like a brother, it knows me like no other, so let it rumble, let it roll, cause it's all I know. You can keep your calm and easy, but that peaceful life ain't for me. The harshest gales call out from the tree, like it can sense the reckless in me.
Alright, so you would have seen us packing up. We've got to have set up pretty dialed now. So simple. But I know there's going to be a few comments about why you guys moving along so quick. And you know what, we don't mind the flies too much, but when you can't even barely make lunch. So we do pull over for morning tea and stuff like that, but I don't bother filming it at all because flies in your ears, and I think I've said before, up through your glasses, in your nose, in your mouth. So the reason we just keep motoring along, it's pretty much because of that. But we've definitely made the most of this morning. We had a dingo just coming through the back of camp. That was pretty special. And then yesterday we were following some dingo prints. Now there've been car tracks over it, then the prints, and we finally found where it was, and it was like tucked in behind a bush. It was like it had a little den there. So we stopped for 15 seconds. Maybe it had pups in there, and we let it be. But so cool to see them out here in the desert. We've seen a lot of camel prints, but no camels yet. They'll probably hear us long before we get there. Considering the desert's only been open a week and 2 days since all the flooding, I'm going to get reflection off my glasses. I can't help that. They're probably filthy too. I'll give them a clean. Anyway, we've had 2 oncoming cars to where we are now in the whole trip, and that was near the start. And we've seen a convoy of 5, a convoy of 2, another convoy of 2. Otherwise, that's all we've seen here. We're quite surprised. So anyway, we'll go clean my glasses, knock out a few more Ks, probably get to Birdsville. Alright, by now you would have seen us, I would have shown you, we've crossed about 5 or 6 of these salt lakes, clay pans, whatever you want to call them, but this one here is huge. Miles that way, and that way, as far as the eye can see, almost runs right in the horizon. So just another one to cross. Just sort of give you a look. So we've just come down to what will be our first detour. You can see that the water is right across the other side. Clearly the track we want is on the other side of that, but that's why the detour's in place. It's like we're by the beach. Go down here and see what signs are there. Righto, so I just mentioned that detour. Clearly there's a sign just here. And there's all these bollards, so the track we want is across there. And here's all the water. So they do say it's dropping pretty quick. But so Jake's filling out the visitors book because the track down to Popple Corner is open. So I did manage to get here and tick this one off. So I'm just walking out the boardwalk now. So let's go check out the corner post. Alright, so we've made it to the corner. And if you look across here, Jake's walking behind the camera. He's currently in the Northern Territory. There's a straight line here that goes that way, South Australia. And this way is Queensland. So that's where we're heading today, through to Birdsville. So we've come down. So the detour we did is on the other side of the lake behind us. So we've gone up and we've driven about 10 Ks following the detour around the lake. But yeah, finally got to tick off another landmark in Australia. Righto, so myself and Jake have just pulled up to the Eyre Creek bypass crossing. Jake's just ran up the hill there to get a photo. But as you can see on this side, big red sand dune. Right here behind the camera is the bypass. So we've got this big river flowing through the middle of the desert here. So we're just going to pull up, have some lunch, and then we'll make our way across the crossing. There is marker posts leading through, so we'll obviously use them as a guide and make our way across to the other side and get over to Birdsville. Now we're actually just talking before about our setup. No roof racks or awnings or anything like that. Just a cheap gazebo if we need it. and we used that when we were camped at Fink, just for a bit of shelter and that to cook under. But other than that, this is how we've been running. We've been out for close to 2 weeks now, just with a couple of swags. So yeah, you don't need heaps, and if you've followed the channel for a while, you will know that my setup is simply my car, and it's exactly how Jake runs into 79 as well. So yeah, it's working out perfect. So we just had lunch. We invited 4 million flies. You're probably sick of hearing about the flies, but it's the facts. And we're just backing up, and we're going to take on the bypass. Filming with two cameras as well. All right, here we go. Crossing. Righto, we got told it was hub deep anyway. We had it up on the front of the car. How do you feel about that, mate?
Yeah, it was good, I reckon.
We got it done. Righto, we got across. It was the first bit drops in quite sharp. So if you're heading out across the river, you're going to be pushing the water uphill a bit, and then you have all this mud here to contend with when you come out. The stakes can be a little bit confusing. We had a left and right thing going, but as you enter it, looks like you stay to the left, put stakes to the left, and when you come out, the stakes are to the right. So it's just a guide using those. But yeah, the cruiser got us through. Righto, so we've just seen on the map Big Red campground and Big Red, and we can't get across still, so we have another bypass to tackle. We've just been doing all the QAA all the way across, and didn't film much along there because it was just it's a water crossing, just more dunes. So we thought we'd come here and have a look, and yeah, looks like we can't get across. So we're going to have to suss this out. Alright, we're going up Little Red now. I'll swing it around, give you a look. Alright, so I just want to give a huge shout out to Jake. We just decided to do this trip about 8 or 9 months ago in one car and a solo trip. So hence why we bought his cruiser out. The FJ probably doesn't even have the fuel capacity to get across the desert here. So that is one of the reasons why we're in his. We've come across and we've still got, how much fuel left, Jake?
Probably like 40 litres at least.
Probably got about 40 litres of fuel left. And he's got a 130 litre tank in the cruiser, so we haven't even touched our jerry cans. So lastly, thanks so much for watching. I do really appreciate it. It's a bit different than our high country trips and trips to the Murray River. They will continue on, but we're going to Eyre up now, as Jake's doing, and we're going to shoot down to the Birdsville pub for a beer.
It's hotter than the blacktop in July, sweating like a sinner in a church, and I just wanna get out with my crew tonight and shoot at the lights. Got a couple 40s full of hops and fun.